Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches. Today, this video is going to be a review of the Lion brand Shawl in a Cake. Here is the ball band. I'm going to give you a few stats about this yarn first, and then I'll talk about how it is to work with. There are 150 grams, or 481 yards. It's machine wash, gentle, lay flat to dry. 58% cotton, 39% acrylic, and 3% other fiber. It claims it's a worsted weight or size 4, 5mm or size 8 knitting needles, and this is shocking to me, a J crochet hook. This is what it looks like. This is what I have, Sun Salutations, and this is how it's going to blend. I'm going to be honest, I don't think the name suits the color path that it has here. Sun Salutations to me would be more yellows, oranges, and reds. But I guess the color name doesn't make or break the yarn. So what I did was I crocheted a little bit with it. Now, I used the J. If you would like to make a loose, lacy shawl, then a J is what you're going to want. If you want to make something that has a little bit more tighter of a fabric, then I would probably use my favorite crochet hook, which is a 4.5, right in between the 5 and the 4. But I crocheted just a little swatch to kind of get the feel of it. And because it is a fuzzy yarn, I'm going to pull this out and show you. As you can see, those little fuzzy bits sometimes make it difficult on crocheting, where the little bits get caught on the hook. And so if you're not careful, if you made an error and you need to rip out a few stitches, sometimes they kind of get caught and it's hard to pull out the stitches. But I think you have that with pretty much any yarn that is, fuzzy, if you will. So it's not exclusive. Let me unwrap this for a bit. It's not exclusive to this cake, this particular yarn. Now, I am knitting with it, as you will see. I like to knit with these color changes that the Lion brand does, because I feel like it has a nice gradual change. Whereas because crochet consists of stitches that go up and then over, that are kind of tall, sometimes the color changes happen in strange places, in the middle of a stitch or in the middle of a row, and you have to do more color control. Because knitting is such a small stitch where you're weaving back and forth, the color changes are much more gradual, and I really like that. It's very similar to Lion's brand's Scarfy yarn. They also, when knitting, has a much more gradual transition between the colors. Also, in addition, as you can see, Lion brand does. They have gradual changes. Unlike Caron Cakes, where it's an immediate stop and a new color. This slowly will fade into a lighter green, into a middle green, into a middle yellow green, into a yellow. Do you see that? So I really do love that feature of the Lion brand cakes. It's just like that in the mandala cakes, and it's just like that with the Scarfy yarn, where they have the gradual change. They have the transition colors between the green and the yellow, and I think that makes for more continuity. Now, knitting with it has been no problem. I haven't had any problem with my stitches getting caught up in the fuzziness. So that's why I chose to knit. I printed off the pattern because there is not one in the ball band. You have to go to the Lion brand website, type in shawl in a cake, and also, unfortunately, you are not going to get this shawl pattern. What you're going to get looks like this. It is a set of 12 rows that repeat. The 6 do the garter, and the next 6 do the stockinette. Then you repeat, garter, stockinette. This is the pattern that you get with the shawl and the cake. When you go to their website, it's free. I printed it out, and this is what I've been doing. Now, that all in all are the positives that I have. It's easier to knit with. I like the gradual change, and the colors look very nice transitioning. The previous negative I said is that when you're crocheting with it, the fuzziness does get caught on your hook, and it kind of makes it sometimes a little difficult if you have to pull out a stitch. But like I said, that happens in all fuzzy yarns. Now, the quality of the yarn, I probably would give like a 7 out of 10. Now, as you would probably guess, it's obviously not a wool blend, and I didn't buy it at a fancy wool shop. I got it at Joann's for $9.99 with a 50% off coupon. So obviously it's not going to break the bank. It's not like if you go to a private yarn shop and you've spent $28 on a skein. But there are some imperfections. Now, I find it to be minor. Right here, I wonder if you can even see it in the picture. Right there, you will see the yarn got like a fuzzy blob. And there is another one. Now, that is where, I wonder if I can find one real close. When you look at the consistency of the yarn, what happens is it gets really, in one area, gets real fuzzed out, real kind of thick. What I did is I wet my fingers and I tried to twist it and spread that fuzzy blob out, and then I knit with it as it was. But unfortunately, you can still see where those 2 fuzzy blobs happened. There's one right there and one right there. Crocheting probably hides it more because you can kind of tuck it into the middle of like a double crochet or even a half double. But knitting, it's just really difficult because the stitches are so small, you got that blob. Now what I've tried to do is kind of like push it towards the back, but even then, you still see those 2 fuzzy blobs. I am in, as you can see, my second color section. First was the aqua, then it transitioned to the yellow, or the green. I don't know my colors very well to know what that would be called. So first it was the green, and it transitioned to the yellow, and I had 2 fuzzy blobs. I don't know how many more I'm gonna get per skein, but I mean, that's the risk you take when you buy moderately affordable yarn. You're gonna end up with these minor imperfections. I think if you hold the piece back, you don't see those blobs. It's only when you get really up close and you study the fabric do you see the blobs. So as of yet, I've had no problem where the yarn literally was cut and knotted. I find that happens frequently in the Karen cakes where, and even it will even be in a section of all the same color where obviously it stopped and they had to knot it and continue. So I haven't found that at all yet in the lion shawl and the cake. It has been consistently going on. It has not had any breaks in knotting. But so far, like I said, in 1.5 color rounds, here you can look at it, I'm in, my second color thing here. I've had 2 fuzzy blobs, which, like I said, I think I spent $5 on this. So I guess I'm getting what I paid for. I don't know. I don't knit enough or crochet enough with really expensive yarns to know if those imperfections also occur in the expensive yarns. So overall, I like the yarn. Like I said, I in my previous videos, I really liked more the Yarn Bee fuzzy yarn. This will be after I finish working on that project. This is what I'll work on, and I'm going to crochet this. So crocheters, get ready. If you want to spam me some cute shawl or scarf patterns. I was kind of thinking an infinity scarf for this, but this one is the one I'll work with next. But otherwise, I would buy this again. I probably wouldn't choose this color, but I would buy it again and I would use it again. I don't know also if I would continue with this pattern. I would try to find something else that had a lace stitch, because I think this would look pretty with the lace stitch. And for you crocheters that don't knit, it's where you would do a yarn over in between your stitches. So that is my review of the Lion brand yarn. I like it. I don't love it, but I do love the gradual change. I would purchase it again. I would use it again. But if I turn out to really like the Yarn Bee Delish one better, I probably would choose that one over this. Let's see, the one last thing I'll say is this is the shawl that I'm going to give away. To be honest, I feel like it's a scarf, not a shawl, but maybe after it's done, it will have a little bit more stretch to it. But when I finish this, I will put up a separate video and I will give this project away to a winner. Just because I thought maybe I will. And a few people had commented on the video that they liked that idea and they would like to win a, have a giveaway for a project I made. Because I am sure just as me, all you knitters and crocheters have friends and family asking you to make things for them. You make things for charities, you make things for gifts for nieces and grandkids and children, and you probably don't take a lot of time to sit and make something for yourself. So I would say, because you know I'm slow with knitting, this might take a couple more weeks, and then I'll post a video for this to be given away to a viewer. Well, that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and sharing my videos. And please, as usual, give me comments of ideas that you would like for videos or yarns that you would like for me to try if you don't want to try, or you know, some of you all don't have Joann's 3 minutes away, so it might be easier for me to zip over, buy a yarn and work with it and let you know how it is. So, thanks for watching. Happy crafting!